Today we're going to be playing 10 rounds with Poison Archaludon. Poison Archaludon has been my favorite deck since rotation. I have taken it to numerous tournaments. My current record at the tournaments is first, third, and second at the 4 tournaments I've taken it to. Overall, extremely powerful deck. I did steal the Blood Moon Ursaluna tech from Isaiah Chevelle's list at the most recent regional tournament, but other than that, it's been pretty similar since the beginning of the format when rotation happened. Let's hop into the matches and let's just see how this plays into the current meta. With Poison Archaludon, you almost always want to go first. I've always chosen to go first with this deck. There's a good chance that you can actually get a turn 1 Poison Donk. In the first tournament I took this deck to, 2 of my matches, I got a turn 1 going first Poison Donk on my opponent, who only had a 70 HP Pokemon in the active. It's very, very consistent at getting that turn 1 P.E.K.K.A. run 80 poison damage into your opponent. Just super, super strong. You'll see how it works as we play through here. This is actually a very, very good starting hand. Did we go first or second? They decided to go first. So we're just going to go ahead and just put the Duraludon in the active spot here. And we're going to bench a Squawkabilly. We're going to use Ultra Ball to dump this and the boss's orders to grab our Brute Bonnet. Then we have the Ancient Booster Capsule. We'll play the Pokegear, see if we can get a Carmine. We'll play the Carmine if we do get it before we Squawk and Seize. But we should have 80 damage online pretty easily. And it looks like our opponent is playing the same deck, which is completely fine. Does change things just a little bit. We may actually not bench the Squawkabilly. We're going to Ultra Ball away these 2. And then we're going to see what we get off the Pokegear. If we do get the Professor's Research, then there's a good chance that we won't even bench the Squawkabilly. We do not want that liability on our bench. We want to force our opponent to have as many Archaludon... I'm sorry, we want to force our opponent to have as many 2-prize liabilities other than Archaludon on their bench. So this Latias and this Squawkabilly here, there's perfect targets for our Archaludon, and it's 220 damage attack. And it goes same thing for them. They're going to be thinking the same thing that we're thinking here. So we just have to be very, very careful. They're getting a pretty good setup here. They got a Dark Energy, so it looks like they're playing the Monkey Dory. Kind of strange that they would grab the Dark Energy there just to discard it, unless they play a 4 of Night Stretcher. It is a possibility. There's the poison, completely fine. They may not be playing Carmine. They saw quite a few cards there. There's the Carmine. Okay. I was going to say, they saw way too many cards there. They probably should have played the Pokegear first to try and get another Carmine out of their deck. Later on in the match, you really just don't want to see those. There you go. But the best part about this situation is we have a knockout on their P.E.K.K.A. run, and they're not going to get a knockout here on our Duraludon. Actually, with it being dark, the Perilous Jungle does not matter. I am crazy. All right. We got too many cards there that we want to keep. All right, let's grab the Brute Bonnet, kind of look at our prizes here. Looks like we do have everything. We've only got 1 P.E.K.K.A. run, which is completely fine. All right, let's see what we get off the Pokegear. We may not play the Squawkabilly. We can completely whiff it. So we will have to play Squawk here. We'll go ahead and attach the Binding Mochi, just so we don't waste it. Do like seeing Secret Box there. I do not like having to discard 2 of our stadiums though, which is what we're going to do. All right, let's grab the Nest Ball. This is kind of a difficult decision, to be honest. There's a good they may have a boss in hand, which would be pretty unfortunate for us. They only have 1 Metal Energy in play, so that's not terrible. Let's just go ahead and do this. And we're actually not going to grab the Perilous Jungle. All right, let's Nest Ball. We're going to grab the Latias to guarantee that we don't leave our Duraludon in the active there. All right. We do have to grab another Duraludon here just to be safe. And we're going to retreat. I think we just retreat into the Brute Bonnet. I don't think we really need poison this entire match, to be honest. We'll play the Pow Pad out of hand on our next turn. If they get the knockout here, we have Pheasantipity for 3, and we can put back the 1 boss's orders. We'll just start bossing around the active. We don't really need Brute Bonnet in this matchup. I know it seems crazy, but just not needed whatsoever. And if they don't have a knockout here, completely fine. Poison doesn't work because we do have the tool attached. Let's see if they retreat to their own Brute Bonnet. That would be very interesting. Mirror matches aren't very fun, that's for sure. Wonder what their plan is here. They could just have nothing. There's the Arch. They did not have another energy in the discard. Carmine, they've already attached return, so it doesn't look like they're attacking. Nest Ball, probably grabbing another Duraludon. Badoo, that's completely fine. I'll retreat and take the knockout with Badoo with the hammer in attack there. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We could just poison it. All right, we're not going to bench the Pheasantipity. If we need it, we'll grab it later. We didn't play the Pow Pad. That's a huge misplay on my part. We should be fine, though. We may actually lose because I didn't put that boss's orders back. That was a big mistake right there. Just got a little ahead of myself. We'll try and figure it out, though. There's the other P.E.K.K.A Runt. That's fantastic. Let's see what they have here. Of course, they just have the Pheasantipity and Energy in hand with the 4-card hand. That's completely fine. They have a boss here, which they don't. It's fantastic. Completely fine with that. We do need an Archaludon here really, really bad. What'd they grab with that? The Dark Energy? For what? Do they use the Poison Chain attack here? Interesting. All right, let's see what we get off Pokegear. We did get the boss. All right, we need the Archaludon here, or it's just kind of game over. There we go. Fantastic. I think we take out... I really want to take out the Latias. Them having free retreat is just really bad for us, but them also having additional 3-card draw is also really bad. So I think we just... They're both really, really strong. That's the problem. But I think we take the Fez. Let's see what they do here. If they attack, if they poison, then attack, we'll definitely end up retreating to our own benched Duraludon here. We should be able to get an energy here. And then we should get the knockout. They could just poison here. If they poison and pass, that would actually be preferable because then that will give us additional damage. Not a big fan of the Monkey Dory in this deck. It's just too many bench spaces are taken up with everything else. They've only got one Archaludon now in play. If we go after that, it's going to be really hard for them to do a whole lot. But this does put the prize trade in our favor. And unfortunately, it also means that us not putting that boss's orders back with our pal pad is going to cost us the game probably. Yeah, we're just going to let this Archaludon go down. There's no reason to try and keep it around. We'll just throw the Binding Mochi here. The Binding Mochi won't matter on the bear later. Let's see. We have no energy in the discard. We could retreat and deny the prizes if we really want to here. We could Ultra Ball, get rid of these two. Could grab the Archaludon if we wanted. We could also grab the Brute Bonnet. I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Archaludon. And we're just going to hold the hand, actually. We're just going to take this knockout. And we're going to force our opponent to have 2 more attacks where we may only need 1. All right, there's the Nest Ball for the Brute Bonnet to get the poison damage going on the Archaludon. That's basically their only attacker. They can move the damage with Monkey Dory, the 30 damage each turn. But with us only needing 2 prizes, if we had that boss's orders in the deck, our Pokegear would almost guarantee it right here, and that would have been game. So completely through the first round of the day. They're probably going to grab a boss's orders here. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see, boss's orders. Maybe they have another Monkey Dory. That would be interesting, honestly. Yeah, there's boss and Pokegear. Going to take the Fez. Yep. Completely fine. They still have 3 knockouts they have to take. They have to take this knockout, they have to take the next knockout, and they have to do it all with only 1 Archaludon. All right, we do have free retreat here. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Let's make sure we have the other... We actually don't, so we don't even want this. But we will take the Pekka out of the deck before we play Iono. Put our opponent down to 3 cards. Sounds good to me. All right, we'll go ahead and swing. They'll have the return KO. And then if they don't have a retreat, there's not a whole lot they're going to be able to do here. The best part about P.E.K.K.A Runt is if your opponent takes a knockout on your active Pokemon, you put the P.E.K.K.A Runt in the active, the poison damage applies once you put the P.E.K.K.A Runt in, so you get that extra damage counters here. So if they're not careful, we could easily get a knockout with just the poison here. Let's see if they retreat. They don't retreat. Completely fine. All right, we do need a Night Stretcher, or we need our final Archaludon. All right, Metal Energy, not what we're looking for. Oh wait, they're down to one prize. Oh. Okay, we'll just finish it off with Blood Moon Archaludon. I always forget that this isn't the deck because it is a new card for me. And we even had the energy if we needed it. Take the final knockout. We kind of threw not putting that Boss's Orders back in the deck, but it ended up being okay. Our opponent only having the one Archaludon really messed up their game plan. If you're in the mirror match, you want to get 2 or 3 of them down, and you don't really want to mess around with the poison all that much. You can poison them and then they take a knockout and you could put the P.E.K.K.A Runt into the active, it helps so much. But that just wasn't in the cards for that matchup with the Monkey Dory in play. It all ended up working out. We'll start off 1-0. Go ahead and hop into the next match. Those mirror matches, you really got to think about them. You really have to think about them. They're a lot more difficult than you expect. All right, our opponent won this coin flip as well. Let's see if they let us go first. A lot of people have been choosing to go second because they're so afraid of Badoo. I'm completely fine with that, but our opponent is choosing to go first. That's also fine. They'll get a mulligan to play with here. See what deck they are. Well, if it's another mirror match, we're just going to stop for the day. I don't want to play mirror matches all day. That's no fun. All right, let's see what they're starting here. All right. Serendipity, not the best to start. Could be worse. We do have a pretty good going second hand here. This would have actually been kind of busted going first. We probably would have had poison damage knockout because we have the Squawkabilly, and then we have Ultra Ball for the Brute Bonnet, Ancient Booster Capsule, Squawkabilly for 6, potentially get Carmine or our Pokegears, and just kind of roll it from there. I haven't really run into any matchup I think is really terrible. Dragapult getting set up really fast is kind of bad for us, but other than that, I haven't really had any bad matchups. Do we count that? I think we count that. Our opponent having a bad hand, we'll count it. Sometimes that happens in real life tournaments as well. Your opponent just has a bad hand and know that it's not worth playing, especially in best of 3. Just go next. Maybe we're not going to get a match here. There we go. All right, we got Beware TCG. That's a pretty cool name. Hey, did we win a coin flip finally? All right, we're going first. I love going first with this deck. It's so much fun. As long as you don't get a mulligan and your opponent doesn't know what you're playing, most people just start the 1 in their active, and this is a beautiful going first hand. We'll put the Brute Bonnet up. I mean, depending on what they start here, this match could be over. Let's find out. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited right now. There's a good chance that we may have this turn 1 win. Gotta love the turn 1 wins. All right, start an Eevee. Okay, they have 2. Okay. This is probably the freest match of all time. Hopzation just can't deal with the damage output and the high HP here. I don't even know if we go very hard for the poison damage here. I don't think it matters. I mean, we could try. We're definitely going to Squawk ability because we don't want to just go into our next turn with the Professor's Research. I mean, we do have it. I don't think we need it, though. You know what? Let's play the Pokegear. Okay. We got another Boss's Orders. If we would have got a Carmine there, we might have went for it. Let's see. We're going to hold the hand because we do need energy for next turn. We need to play our Secret Box, get our Earthen Vessel, Professor's Research, so we're going to need additional cards in hand. We can go ahead and Poison. Doesn't really do a whole lot because it's a Dark type. And they don't normally play Monkey Dory. Let's find out if they play the Monkey Dory. We could have just given them free damage. Latias? Okay. They do have the turn 1 attack with Hopzation. Little unfortunate. It means our Brute Bonnet. We're gonna have to be careful with our Brute Bonnets because we only play 2 of them. Not sure why they attached that there unless they're gonna research or something. All right. Oh, of course. That's super unfortunate. That's about as unfortunate as it gets right there. All right, let's grab Earthen Vessel. Let's grab this. We're going to grab this for discard fodder, and let's just grab a Research. Tempted to go ahead and just bench another Brute Bonnet. I don't think that's terrible. We do need another Duraludon down as well. I think we just let this Brute Bonnet go down. We bench another one. And then we have Pheasantipity for the following turn. I think that's the correct play. Yeah, that's the correct play. All right, we'll go ahead and end our turn. Pass it over. This is one of those matchups that I'm so unworried about it. We could go 2, 3, 4 turns without attacking and we'll still be fine. We did have to dump both of our Boss's Orders, which was absolutely terrible. So we can put it back with Pal Pad because we do want to just go after the stuff on their bench for the most part. I'm assuming they're going to grab... Actually, I don't know. Yeah, just Nest Ball, grab another Zacian, I guess. They're playing Archaludon. Okay. Very interesting. They are going to clap back with the Hops Cramorant. Completely fine. All right, just go ahead and promote the Archaludon. There's almost no shot that we don't get what we need here. All right, let's do Fez first. Flip the script for 3. There's the metal energy we needed. Fantastic. We'll go ahead and put the Binding Mochi. Actually, do we even need the Binding Mochi? Not really. I really want to bench this Pekka for the poison damage. I think it will matter later. Let's go ahead and bench it. We'll go ahead and put the Binding Mochi down. I'm very tempted to play this Carmine, but then we are down an Ultra Ball and another Stadium. And we really need that Super Rod as well to put back our Archaludon. Yeah, we're just going to hold the hand until next turn. See what we get off our 2 prizes here. Hopefully Pal Pad, that would be nice. No, of course not. Yeah, having to dump both of those bosses' orders in that early game it really throws off this prize trade. Like a lot. Because now they can potentially attack with 2 Hops Cramorants, which would be really bad for us. The max damage for Cramorant is 200, 210. So it's 120, 150, 180, 210 if they have the Stadium. If they have Postwick, the Stadium, they're going to be hitting us for 210, which is not a knockout. So we should get another swing into something else here. Problem is if we poison ourselves, then we're going to take self KO between turns. I'm kind of hoping they play this their Postwick if they have it, because I would really like to get this Perilous Jungle onto the field and not just discard it. There's almost 0 chance they don't play a couple of those Stadiums. You just need that extra damage. I'm a big fan of Hops Zacian. This is probably its worst matchup, because we're able to take the 1-hit KOs on the Hops Zacian with the poison. If we didn't have the poison damage, then that would actually be a pretty unfavorable matchup. All right. Definitely going to attack with Hops Cramorant here. Probably going to attack twice. I have no idea what they're doing. This is strange. I mean, I'm not going to complain, but I'm not sure why they didn't attack with the Cramorant there. All right, if we poison... Yeah, we actually don't want to poison here, do we? I think we just attack. Because that still makes them have to have a 2-hit KO here. Sometimes it's really hard to hold the hand. Sometimes you really just want to play the cards out of your hand. But when it's not, sometimes it's just not necessary. I don't think they're going to be able to get this Archaludon out of the active. Latias only works on basics. If it worked on all Pokemon, that would be completely broken. That is partially why we play the Pekka EX. So we can pivot around the Archaludon, and also so we don't get like Saw blocked or, retreat locked. Counter Catcher. Yeah, if they bring up Brute Bonnet, that would be really bad. Completely fine. I don't think they have a knockout, and we can pretty easily get an energy to retreat that. Let's see if we can do it. There's the Pal Pad. Fantastic. We'll put back both bosses' orders. We're gonna Ultra Ball. I think we just go ahead and grab the other Archaludon. We have two, we only have one. I don't think we grab anything, actually. We can grab the Squawkabilly and discard it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna Super Rod back the Brute Bonnet. We're not gonna need that second P.E.K.K.A. Runt. And then we will go ahead and Carmine. We missed the energy. That's completely fine. We are gonna go ahead and poison though. They have a knockout pretty regardless of what we do here on the Squawkabilly. So let's get more damage down on the Archaludon. If they don't have an energy for the Archaludon, they could be in trouble. We do have boss's orders to bring up probably their Pheasantipity or their Latias the following turn. Because we're just going to leave the Squawkabilly in the active till they knock it out if we don't draw into an energy. I don't even know if we drew into a... honestly, if we drew into a Night Stretcher, we may not even play it. Just kind of depends on the board state. But they do have the energy. They should have the retreat here. Yep. Retreat. Completely fine. This route of play means that they never get to use Hop's Cramorant. All right, knockout between turns, fantastic. I think we just bring up the Fez. Don't really see any path where they could do anything about that. All right, we'll take the knockout, go down to 2 prize cards remaining. They do not have a win condition next turn, and we have 2 Pokegears in our hand, 2 Nest Balls. So we'll be able to get out of any sort of counter catcher shenanigans. Looks like we're going to be starting 3-0. This is a pretty free matchup, even with the Archaludon inclusion. They definitely should have swung with the Hop's Cramorant just to get the damage on board. Yeah, if they just attack here, that's game over. They have to use the counter catcher, bring up something else. They got to bring up the Pheasantipity and just hope I don't have the retreat. I don't think we've disrupted their hand. I don't think we played Iono, did we? No. So they should still have that counter catcher from Arven in hand. They should play the counter catcher, bring up the Pheasantipity, instant strike into the Pheasantipity and the P.E.K.K.A. Runt for the damage, and they could potentially get to 3 prizes if I didn't have the Nest Balls in hand. They don't know that, but yeah. They're not even going to do that. All right, we'll just poison, and we'll pass the turn. And we'll start 3-0. When you first look at this deck, it just doesn't seem as strong as it actually is. There's our Night Stretcher. All right. Starting 3-0, that's amazing. We played 2 pretty meta-relevant decks. We had a Mirror Match, and we had the Hop Zacian. I would really like to see some Gardevoir and some Dragapult decks, just to kind of show off how they do against those. I did lose to a Dragapult in the tournament I got second in. The person who got first was playing Dragapult, and they just kind of got me with all of the Dusknoir shenanigans. So even though it seems like it would be a pretty easy matchup, if it goes into like the end late game, if you don't win very, very fast, the Dragapult usually has the advantage because of Dusknoir. All right, our opponent won the coin flip. Sir Dillard. Did we play him already? Was he the person playing Archaludon? I think he might have been. Let's see. All right, they're choosing to go first. We really, really like to go first with this deck. All of these matches going second just kind of show off, honestly, how much of a liability the deck is when it goes second. A lot of people have started putting in like Badoo for when they go second. I'm just not a big fan of Badoo. I feel like it just messes up the prize trade even more. Fills up your bench with bench spaces you just don't have. Like this game, it looks like the Badoo actually would have been pretty strong, but I would much rather just go for poison knockouts. Yeah, I think this is somebody we've already played. I'm pretty sure this is someone we've already played. There's the Pekka-Runt. There's the Jungle. There's the Mochi. And the Carmine. They're trying to do what I'm trying to do. Oh, that's pretty big right there. Them dumping the 2 ancient booster capsules already. They could just be passing right here, which I'm completely okay with. They've already got the jungle down for us, so we can use that for discard fodder. That's amazing. Dumping another jungle. 99% sure this is the person we played in the first round. And they're making the mistake of going really, really hard for the poison here without actually having the poison. All right, so we got another jungle. Let's see. We can kind of do whatever we want here. Let's go ahead and grab some energy. All right, let's secret box. Get rid of these. We're going to grab Nest Ball. We're going to grab Ancient Booster Capsule. We might as well grab the Stadium because it looks like they're playing Perilous Jungle. We're just going to thin out the deck with it. And the Supporter. I think we just grab another Carmine because we don't really want to see the Carmines in the later stages of the game. More discard fodder. All right, let's grab the Brute Bonnet. Whoop, almost put the Binding Mochi on the Brute Bonnet. That would have been bad. All right, let's go ahead and let's Carmine. Fantastic. I don't like putting the liabilities in play, but we don't really have a choice here. We do need to guarantee a Duraludon. See if we can get another Carmine out of the deck. I always like to thin out the Carmines. Like if you have a Pokegear and you're about to play like Squawk and Seas or another Carmine, just getting the Carmines out of your deck is so strong. Okay. Well then. We whiffed pretty hard there. Completely fine. I think we're just gonna put the Brute Bonnet in the active. I think we just put the Brute Bonnet in the active. All right. And we passed the turn. That's a pretty bad turn. That was a very, very bad Squawk and Seas. We got a lot of stuff we really don't want. We'll probably have to play this Pal Pad, put back the boss's orders, and probably the other research before we play research. We're going to be losing Night Stretcher, Super Rod. We're going to be losing quite a bit here. Yeah, I kind of figured that they just wouldn't have it. All right, if we can get the Pekka-Runt, we could just do Poison Knockout. Dang. That's rough. All right, we're going to go ahead and play the Pokegear. We're not going to take that. We're going to play the Pal Pad. We're going to put back these two. We don't need to play anything else. I don't like dumping the Super Rod and the Night Stretcher. We really, really need those. Wow. All right, so we're going to dump this. Actually, we're just going to dump 2 energy. That's fine. We'll grab the Pekka-Runt. We'll attach an energy. We'll go ahead and evolve just to get the energy out of the discard. That way they can't take a knockout on our only Duraludon next turn. He is poisoned, so we'll go ahead and retreat. Take the knockout with poison. And we'll pass. This keeps Pheasantipity from activating. That's one of my favorite parts about playing a poison deck, is that if you can knock them out with poison between turns, they do not get the Pheasantipity activated, and they also do not get to use cards like Unfair Stamp, because it gets knocked out between the turns. Just don't have to worry about it. They're in kind of a rough position here. Yeah, they're just gonna probably just go back at us with poison if they can. But they did dump 2 of their booster capsules. If they have it in a hand, of course, 4-card hand, and they have, they just have it like that. That's okay. That's actually completely fine. Let's see. We may actually let them have the knockout on this P.E.K.K.A. Runt. That's crazy. Just having that between turns is just crazy. All right, I'm going to try to get another P.E.K.K.A. Runt for the bench here. Otherwise, I'm just going to let a double knockout happen. I mean, we got it. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And there's boss's orders. Let's take out the squawk ability. We're in a pretty good position here. All right, we'll pass. Let that knockout happen. We're gonna take this prize card. Pheasantipity, that's what we like to see. We didn't even prize check this game. Haven't prize checked actually any of the games, have we? Should always prize check when it's important. Do they have the Archaludon? That's the question. I'm going to go with no. They did not have the Archaludon. All right, 4-0. Love to see it. Love to see it. As you can see there's a lot of, lines of play depending on what your opponent does, especially in the mirror match. Sometimes you don't even need to attack. You just let the poison damage do its thing. Also helps whenever your opponent can't use their own Pheasantipity and they just don't have any supporters. We do play a pretty thin supporter count. We only play, 4 Research, 4 Carmine, 8 cards total. And that's why with the Pokegears, if I see a Carmine, I just like to thin it out. I know that seems counterproductive, but towards the middle late game, you should have a big enough hand to where it just doesn't matter. You're wanting to use the Pokegears to find boss. And if you have to discard the Pokegears, you want to get the Carmines out of the way because you just don't want to play those in the late game. You're always wanting to play Boss's Orders or Professor's Research in the end game. All right, did we... They decided to go first. We have yet to have like a really good pop-off going first game here. Let's see. We may be playing another mirror match. That was a Dark Energy. Okay. This is another one of the matchups that's basically free. I don't think I've ever struggled into Zoroark, because if you do the Binding Mochi play, then the poison knocks it out between turns, and it's just really hard for your opponent to do anything about that. All right, Vessel's really cool to see. I mean, this just doesn't matter. We're going to be dumping the boss's orders anyway. We could boss up their one Zorua and just see if we can get it all off Squawk ability, but we're not going to do that. That's playing with fire. We're going to grab 1 energy just so we have 2 in the discard. And then we're going to play Carmine. All right, we're going to Brute Bonnet it. We probably should have played Squawkabilly there first, in all honesty, because we could have got a Professor's Research, but I didn't want to draw into a bunch of boss's orders and things. Wow. Okay. So since we're not taking a knockout, we don't have the retreat. I mean, we could just do... There's almost no shot they don't have the knockout in return on the P.E.K.K.A. Runt. I think we just grab the Duraludon. We'll just go ahead and attach the Binding Mochi. We actually don't need to poison here, do we? No. That was about as bad of a going second with this deck as you can get. If they Iono us, I'm gonna be pretty excited. Not gonna lie, I'm actually pretty excited for them to hit us with that Iono. Hopefully they do it. Iono before you trade. Come on. That, of course. Okay, so they have the knockout on the Duraludon, which is completely fine. We'll Night Stretcher back the Duraludon. We'll play Iono. Potentially get another Duraludon. Should be fine. This should be fine. Completely fine. Bad part about only getting one Duraludon. All right. Go ahead and promote the Brute Bonnet. We're going to Night Stretcher. We're going to bring back the Duraludon. We'll play the Iono. Hopefully we get another Duraludon. If we don't, we could be in trouble. We really need the Binding Mochi. We just got a whole bunch of cards that we really, really need to keep. Oh, this is tough. We really need to keep like all of this. We're going to get rid of Super Rod. I think P.E.K.K.A. Runts. We can get rid of P.E.K.K.A. Runt. All right. We got to get another Nest Ball down. Guess we could just grab all of this just to have it. Yeah. Best part about this is that they don't have a knockout on the Brute Bonnet. All right, we'll go ahead and Toxic Powder. We're only doing 170 there. Actually, no, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. I guess they could have like a Boss's Orders play with like, I don't know. I've never lost to the Inzor playtesting this deck whatsoever, so I'm not super worried about it, even with this kind of bad start. Like, if they take a knockout here, that's fine. If they don't, also fine. All right, free retreat. Are they going to retreat? That'd be interesting. Retreat to what? I'm super curious what the play is here. They don't have a knockout. Okay. I mean, do we just pass again? Just pretend like we don't have anything? Yeah. Sounds good to me. I mean, we don't really need to do anything here. I don't want to boss anything up. I want the poison damage to keep collecting. I mean, they could get a Boss's Orders and take out one of the Duraludons, but it doesn't really matter. Like, once I have the Archaludon, I don't know what they do. I'm not worried about it. This is one of those matchups where I don't think I can lose unless really, really bad stuff happens. Probably grabbing an Ultra Ball here. I don't know what the tool card is for this deck. I have not built an in Zoroark deck whatsoever. I haven't even play tested it in anything. I just don't think it's a good deck. Defiance Band would work if you were behind on prizes for sure. All right, they should take a knockout here, and then we'll use Pheasantipity. They could just retreat to the other Zoroark. That could make it a little bit more difficult, honestly. But they did not, which is perfect for us. That guarantees a knockout for us next turn. I guess we could have prized both of our Archaludons. That would be really unfortunate, but it is a possibility. Let's just hope we did not do that. All right. Do the Fez. Flip the script. Be nice to get an Archaludon here. Completely fine that we didn't. We'll use Ultra Ball. We're actually pretty low on energy. Let's see. Insdar Manitan does quite a bit to the bench, doesn't it? I don't think I want to bench the P.E.K.K.A. run. It would be nice for the poison damage between turns, but I don't think we're going to need it. So I think we just get rid of the jungle. Jungle's not really doing anything other than bumping their own stadium. Well, we've only got one Archaludon. That's kind of scary. Yeah, we do that. We're just doing the 220. Don't have the Binding Mochi play. I think we just have to take out the Squawkabilly here. Yeah, let's just do the Squawk. We need the price cards. Just need the price cards. All right, there's our Brute Bonnet back. We may actually end up losing this. Yeah, there's a good shot we actually end up losing this. All that talk about not being worried about it, and I think we're just going to end up losing here. I think this right here is going to be the reason we lose. If they get that evolved, I think we're in trouble, which is what they're doing right now. Because that does what? I think it's 120 to the bench. But you discard all the energy, right? Yeah. So basically all they have to do here is they have to do that attack twice. And they'll take out basically everything on my bench. Oh, it's only 90. Okay. That's not terrible. Boss is fine. Let's see. Okay. It's fine. That's still a lot of... Oh, it's 170. Yeah, that's game. GG. I just lose now. All right, let's get the bonnet. I mean, they should just have this, right? I don't see a way that they don't just have boss next turn. Because this is only doing... Yeah, it's game. They got me. They got me. Just copy the attack. All right, we lost that one. Slow start. That's honestly... I think that's the first time I've ever lost to... that is the first time I've ever lost to that deck. I didn't take into consideration the boss's orders 170 onto the Squawkabilly. All right, 4-1 through 5 matches. That's fantastic. We're on a pace for 8-2, which would be day 2 worthy. Day 2 worthy for if we were actually in a regional tournament here. If you get any sort of setup right there, normally what you do is like I said, you put the P.E.K.K.A. Runt. Once they take a knockout on the Archaludon, you promote the P.E.K.K.A. Runt, and that takes the knockout because it does the additional damage counters. And normally it's really hard for them to kind of come back from that, but they got set up basically for free there. How many turns? I think we passed like 3 turns, right? So the person we were playing was a very good player. They played it very, very correctly. Honestly, if they had a, what was it, the stadium for the free retreat, it would have been an even easier win for him there. I always forget that Squawkabilly has 160 HP, though. I really do. I always think it's 190. Did we get to go first? We did get to go first. Nice. All right, let's get the Brute Bonnet. We can't win this turn because Whalmer has a fat 130 HP. But we can try to at least get the damage going. So we got Brute Bonnet. We need... I think we just... What do we grab the Squawk here? Nah. We'll just Carmine and we'll see if we can get it off Carmine. If not, I think we'll be okay regardless. Nice. We just got everything off the Carmine. We don't even have to bench the Squawk. 1 energy in play. That could get kind of sketchy if we don't play the Squawk. We have the Squawk right here for 2 of our Ultra Balls. What do you guys think? This is it's kind of a tough decision, but I think we do it. I think we had very little choice there. Hopefully we get a Perilous Jungle. That would be fantastic. We do not. But we do get the energy. We don't even have a knockout on the following turn on this Whalmer. Because we don't have the Perilous Jungle. That's crazy. Let's just go ahead and put down another Duraludon. I have no idea what we're playing. I guess we could look up what Whalmer Wailord does. Let's see. pkmncards.com. All right. I'm assuming that's going to be a Wailord. Hydro Pump. This attack does 50 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. 240 HP. That's disgusting. All right. That could be what we're playing. Bad part about these high HP basic Pokemon is you can't Buddy Poffin for them. Honestly, I wish Buddy Poffin was just 2, basic non-rule box Pokemon just for that reason. Because a lot of these decks just don't get played for that reason. Before the Regis rotated, if you could get the Regis out with Buddy Poffin, it would have been disgustingly broken. But yeah, this is the Wailord. Right here. Hydro Pump is the attack. Alright, they grab Buddy Poffin and an Artisan, which is fine. There's the Poffin. Probably going to grab some more Varooms. Frigibax. Alright, we're playing Baxcalibur Wailord. They just got a Buddy popping off that Arven. That's kind of crazy. We're not even taking a knockout here. It's absurd. And they could evolve. Yeah, they're going to evolve right here. They're going to get their setup going. That's crazy. I think we just target down the... Honestly, I think we just target down the stuff on the bench. We could just pass and take a prize card that way as well. It would have been nice if we had the Perilous Jungle just so they weren't able to get that for free. Let's grab some energies here. Go ahead and attach. And we're just going to pass. There's no reason to do anything else. And if they play Pheasantipity, it doesn't work. All right, Artisan, probably grabbing another Whalmer. Yeah, that thing is so fat. Iono, which is actually completely fine with me. We have a pretty bad hand here, honestly. There's the jungle. Love to see it. About 3 turns too late. They need 4 energy to be able to attack here. Do you think they can get there? I love seeing decks like this. And it's actually working. Like, this deck is actually working how they want it to work. Let's see if they can get the knockout here. I'm actually rooting for them to get the knockout here. I'm not going to lie. We could have attached that other energy to the Duraludon on the bench because we've only got one in the discard to kind of help guarantee an attack. But if they don't get an attack here, we could just poison and just keep passing. I don't know how many of these Wailords they're going to be able to set up, honestly. All right, we're going to bump their stadium. We'll do Night Stretcher. Grab back the Arch. Honestly, if we can get an energy here off Carmine, we're gonna do it. We're gonna hit the Carmine and we're gonna try to get an energy and just start taking KOs. With the Perilous Jungle, we do have a knockout between turns with Poison. There's the energy, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, we'll go ahead and retreat. I'm honestly very tempted to go back to playing 2 Latias over the Pekarun EX. I just don't play the Pekarun EX. I never get Sob trapped, and I never, fingers crossed, I never seem to start the Blood Moon Ursaluna and prize everything. Let's see what they could do here. I really want to see a big attack from this thing. So they would need what? 50, 100, 152, 253. They would need 6 energy. There's 3. Oh, I think they got it. That's crazy. That's awesome though. I'm excited for this. There's 2. They need 1 more energy. I didn't even think about reversal energy. This is awesome. Oh, this is awesome. There it is. They got it. They got the 1-hit KO onto the Archaludon. That is bonkers. That's impressive, though. Not gonna lie, that's impressive. We do have the return KO with our Archaludon, and they do not have anything else on the bench. They really need to get another... They really need to get another Pokemon in play here. They need a Rumbling Engine for 6 and try and get another Whalmer here. They really have to have it. Rumbling Engine. If they don't get another Whalmer here, it's over. I hope they get it. I really, really hope they get it. There's the Fez. Doesn't work because we took the knockout with Poison. That's just a free 2 prize cards for us. One-hit KO on the Archaludon with a basic single prize Wailord. That's insane, man. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. That's cool. That's really cool. We could grab a boss here. I think we have a boss left in deck. I think that's what we do. Really no other reason to do anything else. Yeah, just a concession. I understand why they conceded, but the fact they got the attack there is amazing. One-hit KO on the Archaludon with the Rogue Wailord. Gotta love it. All right, that puts us at 5-1. Honestly, doing a lot better than I expected. I honestly expected to run into a lot of really bad matchups with this deck. It feels like whenever you play on the ladder, it's not very random. The decks aren't very random. It feels like you tend to play against decks that you are really bad into. But we've seen a couple of cool decks today. We haven't just seen, straight Gardevoir, Dragapult, the 20% metas from the last couple regionals. Love to see it. I think they won the coin flip. Looks like they did. They're letting us go first. Love to see it. The most satisfying thing in the world is when your opponent starts a solo Badoo and you get the poison donk on the first turn, which is definitely possible right here. Let's see what they started. 80. All right, I think we have it. We just need the Perilous Jungle, right? Looks like we just need the jungle. All right, we'll grab the Squawk. We just need the Perilous Jungle here, and we got the game. First turn going first. We'll go ahead and bench that. We're going to dump the energy. We don't need that. Miss the jungle. All right, we're going to go ahead and thin our deck here as much as possible. We prized our only Latias, of course. Honestly, let's just grab the bear just to thin out our deck. We really want to see a Perilous Jungle here. We missed it. Dang it. All right, that's fine. It's completely fine. We'll just poison. We'll get the 6 down. We missed the jungle. We missed the secret box. That's fine, though. We'll go ahead and pass. I guess we could attach an energy. We do have 2 in the discard pile. Yep, we got 2 in the discard pile. Dang. They do have 2 retreat costs, so there's actually a good chance that they just aren't able to do anything here. And we're just going to load up on the Magmars. I bet they were in full panic mode right there. I wonder what the odds are to whiff the 4 Perilous Jungles and the secret box there off of Carmine and Squawkabilly. Did we even Squawkabilly? Am I crazy? I might be crazy. Oh, we used Squawk and Seize and we played Carmine. Okay. All right, he's going to retreat. That Magmar for sure. But he honestly just gave us a bunch of targets. Boom. Burned us. There's the evolution. We do get rid of our fire weakness. Whenever we attack with Metal Defender. So fortunately, I mean, they're going to get a knockout here. But unfortunately for them, we just have a return KO as well. All right, let's grab the Fez. We'll Night Stretcher back the Arch. Got to be careful with our Super Rod. Not sure what they're playing, other than the fact that this is a Volcanion, and it does a lot of burn damage. But we still have to be careful here. we don't want that. We're actually just going to... Oh, he knocked us out between turns. He used my own power against me. It's just so easy to forget that. All right. That was a pretty good 2 prizes there. Ultra Ball for another Archaludon if we need it. Unfortunately, we did not get the energy, so if they get a knockout here, we could be in trouble. There's another Mag Mortar. 3 more damage counters, so 30, 60, 90 between turns. And all they have to do is retreat. That's pretty cool. That's actually a really, really cool concept. I wonder if they have like a backup attacker, like Flareon or something like that. There's what I was worried about right there. I was worried about the Brave Charms. That could make it a little bit more difficult for us. Problem is if we flip heads, then we're just no longer burned, so it doesn't really do a whole lot, you know? That's crazy. So much burn damage. We stay burned. All right. We got the jungle, which is great. I think we just... Research? Yeah. Attach return. And then we do poison because we do want the knockout. I think we just swing. Take the 2 prizes. And hopefully we flip heads between one of these turns. It's crazy. Oh, they got the free knockout. This is really cool. So they're going to get a free knockout. That's crazy. That is crazy. There's Pekarunt. They did promote the Mag Mortar, which is good for us because they can't free retreat that. They should have promoted the Latias just in case. I guess they could attack with the Mag Mortar. This is a cool deck. This is a cool deck. I'm not gonna lie. This is a cool deck. I actually in my pack openings and stuff like that, whenever I find these Mag Mortars, I've been pulling them out because I'm like, man, that's just a really good ability. Eventually, you're gonna be able to do something with it, right? All right, let's dump a Carmine. Grab our energy out. Really like to see a boss. Probably won't, but it'd be nice. Let's see, Carmine, let's see if we get a research. The boss does not matter because we don't have the attack yet. So let's just grab the research. See, we don't have flip the script because that was burn damage. I think we attach the energy here for the free retreat the following turn, just in case. Making me think really hard here, Glitch Cat with your Mag Mortar deck. Okay. We should have a Night Stretcher. If not, we for sure have an Ultra Ball. We'll go ahead and dump these. Yeah, we got the Night Stretcher. Grab the Mochi. Grab that. Guess we'll grab the Stadium just to thin it out of the deck. Grab the Arch. Always poison, just so you don't forget to do it. We'll evolve. Grab our 2 medals. That should be game. They could get to the knockout if we were still weak to fire. I don't think they can ever get to 300 damage without the fire weakness. All right, last turn for them. Let's see if they can pull it together here. They can't really trap anything. If they do try and trap in the active, it just won't work. Eventually, they have to take a knockout. I guess they could try and deck me out. That's definitely a possibility. Honestly, that's a really good play. If they got a hold of a boss or a counter catcher, they could easily trap me. They would be taking 30 damage between turns, so it would be kind of rough for them. Yeah, there's the counter catcher on the Brute Bonnet, of course. We do have Super Rod, so they just don't have enough turns to do that fully. I'm kind of curious if they're going to take the knockout or if they're just going to pass. Yeah, that's my own fault for overbenching. It really is. Do we still have Iono? We do still have Iono. They're just going to try and deck me out here. Really unfortunate that we decided to bench that extra Brute Bonnet. Otherwise, the game would just be over. But you live, you learn. That was a misplay on my part. Seriously. That's fine. Completely fine. I don't think we can win now. I think we're just going to deck out. That's fine. Thanks. Well, we lose. Congratulations to our opponent for realizing that if they put the damage somewhere else, I'm just going to concede. But it looks like they're going after the Archaludon, which I'm completely fine with. If they go after the Archaludon and actually try and take knockouts, completely fine with that. Okay. All right, they gave us the win. Fantastic. They actually had game just by continuing to pivot around and letting me deck out. But they did want to take, looks like they just wanted to take prize cards. I'm not going to complain. I mean, we have game. Give me the Mag Mortar. Did my internet go out? Looks like my internet might have went out. Let's see if it comes back. Hopefully it comes back. We're definitely going to count this as a win, though. All right. Had game in hand. We're counting that as a win. 6-1. All right, the internet's back up and going. We had about a 3-hour outage there while we were 6-1 whenever the power went out. And we're going to finish the last 3 matches here. See if we can end up going 9-1. If we can win the next 3 matches, that'd be pretty crazy. Our opponent's got an Archaludon coin here, though. Probably means we're in for a mirror match. Hopefully we get to go first. That would be best case scenario. Getting the first attack with Archaludon, super important in the mirror match. I think we've only won 1 coin flip today. In 7 matches, I think we won 1 coin flip. All right, they did choose to go first. So we're going to start Brute Bonnet here. We actually have a pretty good... going second hand, so we should be fine. And just depends on what kind of setup they get here. They're grabbing the Archaludon. Squawkabilly's good to see. All right, they got the Binding Mochis. Them discarding the Binding Mochi could end up mattering later on if they end up going after a board state of 2 or 3 Duraludon Archaludons. There's Carmine. That's number 2 Binding Mochi. If they're playing the Isaiah Chevelle list, that probably means that was their last one. I'm not super worried about the poison here, but they are getting rid of all their Brute Bonnets. That's kind of a sketchy thing to do if you want to utilize the poison. Let's see what they grab here. If they grab the Pecarunt or they grab the Duraludon. They grab the Latias, hoping to get it off a Squawk and Seize, it looks like. That is a massive liability board there. I'm assuming they're going to grab a Duraludon here. I would be shocked if they didn't. Okay, there we go. They could go into the Pecarunt. This would be a really, really good board state for us if they just went straight into a Pecarunt here. Let's see what they do. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. They basically guarantee they don't have an attacker until I want them to have an attacker now. Completely fine. Yeah, I don't know about benching the Mew EX there. All right, we're going to bench the Duraludon. We are not going to bench Squawkabilly. We have all the time in the world here. Yeah, they just realized what's going to happen. It happens. We overbenched against the against that Fire Burn deck. It definitely happens. You just kind of get ahead of yourself thinking about drawing the cards you need, not realizing you're filling up your bench. I do it all the time, just like they just did. You just got to pay attention and relax, settle down, and just don't overbench. Especially if you don't know exactly what your opponent's playing. But once they saw the Ancient Booster Capsule there, them not being able to poison me, they knew I'd be able to set up and do basically whatever I wanted. Wait until I have a Boss's Orders in hand, take out their Pheasantipity, and just go from there. All right, 7-1. We've done 8 matches today. We got 2 left. This deck feels really, really good right now. There's not a lot of decks that, just feel better than this one right now. I do really like Terrabox. It doesn't have a good matchup into this deck specifically, but into basically everything else in the format currently, it's extremely strong. Big fan of Terrabox. I do like Hopzation a lot too, especially if there's a format or a lot of people playing Gardevoir. They decided to go second, so we'll go ahead and start the Pecarunt, because it looks like we may have a whole lot of nothing here. This is a really, really bad going first hand. Raging Bolt's fine. Completely fine. Other than the fact that we don't really have anything here. Alright, I'm going to attach an energy to the Pecarunt just so we have the ability to pivot. This is an interesting matchup. If we would have gotten Poison down there and a Duraludon down, it would be a whole lot better. But the way it's looking right now is they're going to get 2 or 3 prizes before we even start to get set up. And then we may just be too far behind. We only played one Iono. Iono's like the strongest card against this deck. And they got kind of lucky not starting anything. They could have started like the Hoot Hoot, the Fan Rotom, something like that. If this is all they have, I'll be okay with that. They are going to take the knockout. We do have to discard both energies to do so. That's completely fine with me. Hopefully we get something. All right, Carmine, fantastic. I'm not going to put anything back. I guess we're just going to Carmine and kind of hope for the best here. All right, we did get a Duraludon, so we're not out of it yet. We'll go ahead and we'll poison the Raging Bolt, get it in the range of the Archaludon attack Metal Defender. And maybe they just have nothing next turn. That's a good possibility. They do need 3 energies in play to be able to knock out this Brute Bonnet. Let's see if they can get there. If they play Ancient Booster Capsule, I think that's basically an auto loss for us, because we do need the poison damage. What makes this match winnable or doable is whenever you can attack the Raging Bolt with Metal Defender, and then it's poisoned, and then between turns, it gets knocked out from the poison. Yeah, there's the Area 0. Doesn't matter, we've already got the necessary damage down. They're going to do Burst Roar. Crispin back. I think they're going to do the Burst Roar attack here. Yep. It's quite a few energy. Boss's orders. I think we grab Latias. And then we Carmine. We got nothing. That is crazy. All right. Wow, that was really bad. Like really bad. We're just gonna pass. We have nothing. We're just gonna pass. Surely they got like a Professor Sada or a Nest Ball, Teal Mask Ogre Pawn, something. Be very surprised if, yeah, there's the Nest Ball. Grab the Teal Mask here. Start drawing through their deck. There's the Hoot Hoot, finally. Another Hoot Hoot. Let's see if they Burst Roar again. Ultra Ball. Probably going to grab another Raging Bolt here. Be really strong to have that in their hand for next turn. If we take out the Teal Mask Ogre Pawn, that kind of disables their whole deck because they need to have the Terra Pokemon in play for the Hoot Hoot Noctiles. Let's see what they do. I think they should be a little bit more worried about taking too long to set up here. Let's see if they get the, yeah, they got the energy, of course. Just draw into it. I kind of want them to take the knockout here, because if the less energy they have in play, the better, especially when they only have 2 cards. I know that Pheasantipity's on their bench, and if we take a knockout that way, that's going to give them a bunch of cards. But it's going to be really hard for them to get, I think, what do they need? 70, 140, 210, 280. They need 5 energy. That's quite a bit of energy for them to get a knockout. And we're definitely not going to knock out this Raging Bolt unless we absolutely, yeah, we're going to have to. All right, Carmine. We'll just go ahead and play the other Pokegear. Try and get a research, which we do get. Fantastic. We're going to put the Binding Mochi on. Let's see. We do want to put back the boss. We'll go ahead and put back... I'm tempted to put back the other Carmine, but we really don't want to see that later on. We just kind of want those out of our deck at the moment. It's still... it's crazy. All right. We are flipping the script basically for the game here. All right, we got Secret Box, which means we have basically whatever we want. Let's see. Got 4 energy in the discard. I think we get rid of the Pecker Runt here. Because we're going to be discarding quite a bit of stuff regardless of what we do. And Supporter for next turn. We just want Boss. I don't think we ever need Binding Mochi. So we're going to discard the 2 tools. I'm going to grab the Arch. We are going to give them a lot of cards here with Pheasantipity, but I think we'll be okay. Go ahead and grab the other Duraludon just to get it out of the deck. If they get the knockout this upcoming turn, I think it's just game over. We'll do our best, but I think they're just going to win the prize trade. Not getting anything off of those prize cards is also really bad. So they'll almost definitely have a Noctowl here. They'll be able to flip the script, and they'll get, what, Professor Sada, Energy Retrieval. So they'll have... They should have 5 or 6 energy in play this turn, which could just be game over for us. They could Prime Catcher up the Pheasantipity as well. That's also a possibility for them to do. They could have whiffed completely. I highly doubt it. Yeah, there's a Noctowl, of course. Okay, going after the Teal Mask Ogrepons isn't really a viable option anymore since there's 2 of them. If we get a Pecker Runt, a baby Pecker Runt, we could go after the lone Hoot Hoot. Okay, here comes the other Raging Bolt before they Sada. I think they're going to have exactly 5 energy in play. Exactly 5. Grave Charm makes sense. They need an energy retrieval or a grass energy here for the knockout. If they get the knockout, I think it's just wraps. Yep, there's the manual attachment. And the Teal Dance, of course. They're just going to see too many cards here. I think that's wraps. Yeah, they got to get rid of basically all of the energy. They'll probably leave the Lightning or the Fighting on the Raging Bolt on the bench. That's what I would do. Yep. Lightning on the bench. The best thing is they didn't take out the Fez. Honestly, we'd be in big trouble without Pheasantipity this turn. All right. We're going to Nest Ball. The question now is do we grab the Archaludon or do we just grab the energy for the bear? Because I think we definitely take out the Raging Bolt on the bench. see. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They'll just dump the Noctowl, and then they'll be able to Night Stretcher it back. I think we actually just leave that. All right, we're just going to grab the energy. We're going to attack with the bear. And we're going to take out the benched Raging Bolt. And that basically just guarantees that they're going to have the knockout here, which is completely fine. Sometimes you just lose the prize trade 2-2-2. Just not a very good setup for us. And Raging Bolt does Raging Bolt things sometimes. There's our Iono. Yep, so they still need the same. No, they only need 4 energy here. We probably should have done the Archaludon just to force them to have the extra energy, but odds are they'll just have Prime Catcher. Sometimes you just lose the Raging Bolt, getting the prize trade in their favor. I'd be very surprised if they don't have... Yeah, there's the energy retrieval, so that's 2. They just need Professor Sada or a Noctowl. Yeah, 1, 2. There's almost no shot they don't have Prime Catcher here, right? Yep, that's game. Jewel Seeker for Night Stretcher and Professor Sada. Jamming Tower. Do they not have another ancient Pokemon in their hand? They've only got 2 in the discard. Did they prize the other Raging Bolt and their other Night Stretcher? Not sure what they're doing here. Like, why take 6 years to do it? Okay. You've obviously have game in hand without playing 5 different Night Stretchers. There's just no reason to do that. If you have game in hand, there's no reason to play additional cards and waste everybody's time. 7-2. We're still at a really, really good win percentage here. We could have an 80% win percentage if we win this last match, which is absolutely crazy. Well, there wasn't a whole lot I could have done there. They actually had the 5th energy. Just they hadn't played really any Night Stretchers. They hadn't played any Noctowls, Ultra Balls, or really anything. So they just kind of had it all. And I didn't get to offset the prize trade with any single prizers. Raging Bolt, sometimes it's just too fast, too strong sometimes. All right, they're letting me go first. Maybe we'll get the Poison Donk in our last match of the day. All right, we'll start Latias. Let's see what they're playing. Dark Energy. Nope, we're not going to get the Dunk. This is actually a very difficult matchup because they're going to get 2 or 3 Monkey Dories in play, and they can move a lot of damage over, especially if they get Rigid Band onto their Blissey. We got to get the poison damage going basically immediately. Like, we can't wait here. But our hands actually would be really good if we had a single Nest Ball or an Ultra Ball. Let's see what our opponent started. Maybe they just started Badoo and we don't even have to worry about this. Let's find out. Got 3 mulligans to work with. All right, we got it. That's fine. We're going to Ultra Ball. We're going to grab the Petch. We're going to grab a couple energies here just to get him into discard. Grab a Duraludon. I'm not messing around with the... not going to mess around with Squawkabilly this game, I don't think. Or there's just no reason to. Grab another Duraludon. Yeah, we have a really, really good setup here. Toxic Powder. Treat. Do we discard anything crazy? No. We'll just hold the Pal Pad for later. Normally, we really like to keep the Binding Mochis for the Cornerstone Ogerpon match. You like to do the Hammer in attack plus 60 damage with the Binding Mochi plus the Poison. Let's see if they just grab Monkey Dories here and start moving damage over. That's probably the best course of action for them. Town Store is completely fine. They could grab a rescue board here, which would be unfortunate for us. But if they don't retreat here, we'll have a Poison knockout between turns. Turbo Energize is fine. We just need to get ahead on prizes. And if they Turbo Energize, we will be ahead on prizes because we have the Perilous Jungle. Unless they get the Iono here. Iono? Fail. It's fine. Boss, completely fine. Does mess up the poison damage, so we don't have a knockout going into the next turn. We may actually... If we get our own boss's orders, that would actually be super, super nice. Alright, we're gonna Town Store. I'm gonna grab the Mochi. Yeah, there's not a whole lot they can do. They didn't get set up really well. 8-2. 8-2. Whoop. Apparently we're 72. All right. We played 10 rounds with Archaludon. We went 8-2. We did play a few good matches. We didn't really play against Gardevoir. We didn't play against Dragapult, a lot of the good meta decks. We do have favorable matchup into Gardevoir specifically. Dragapult's kind of sketchy, so just practice that if you're wanting to take Duraludon, Archaludon, Poison to like a regional or your locals. You're going to run into some Dragapults, just kind of test that matchup. You really have to lean into the Poison, knocking out the low HP Pokemon before they can evolve, and then just hoping that your Duraludon is big enough to withstand the Dragapult in the late game. And just, honestly, if they get a bunch of Dusknoirs online, it's just kind of wraps. Dragapult's probably the best deck in format right now, for a good reason, just extremely, extremely powerful. I'm going to leave a deck profile video down below here. Make sure you guys check that out, and I'll see you in the next one.